and his progression to GOCC. Oh, welcome to Claim Your Inheritance. I'm your host, Nazir Devar Amiel Yasharal. I'm the Crown Prince of Israel. You know what I mean? The President Pro Tem of New Jerusalem. I am the current Governor of North Carolina for Brim Nation. I encourage all Brims and Bloods to return to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. I can teach you how to do that. I am the current Governor of North Carolina for Brim Nation. I encourage all Brims and Bloods. Yeah, it's very simple to do. So now we have supposed to have a very special guest, Tonio Smith, talking about the United States currency and how it's backed by either linen or cotton. He has a real good theory about that. However, we're having technical difficulties. I apologize. We don't know how to link it together. You know what I mean? I sent him the link, and I just figured he just could just hit the link and just automatically just pop up on here. But I think you have to connect like on Google or something, and he has to add me to his circles or some technical thing before he can utilize the link. I don't know how that. I think that's how that works. So I apologize. We're gonna have to reschedule that show. I don't know when. It will probably be Monday. Okay, because we're booked for tomorrow is the weekly show. Friday is Friday we have a special guest Friday, and Saturday I have a lesson on something about Jasher or the time, the time frame that how long was Israel in Egypt. Okay, so let me remove this rim because that's a necessity when you're trying to edify people. You can't cover your head and edify at the same time. It's just unethical. So now I want to remind everybody, that was real country, that the ID is very important. The only national Israelite messianic ID in the whole nation. It's $21. Come to you real fast. Probably about a week. You better give me the right address, because I just got a return to sender in the mail the other day because he didn't give me his apartment number. Well, I put his apartment number back on there, and then I put another stamp on there, and it's right. He has it today. The ID is important to identify you whenever you try to apply for our military reserves. Military reserves has commando training, military tactics, all that good stuff. You're going to learn about the military. You're going to become a soldier for your country. You're going to defend your country. You're not afraid. You're afraid of the Most High. We also have real estate training. Free real estate training. If you want to start your real estate business and you think you understand the real estate training very well, then start your business. Start the business. It costs $1,500 to get you your all your paperwork and your mechanisms to get the loans, the no money down loans for the properties. They give you the down payment for the property. They buy the title of the property in your name. The title goes in your name, and they give you rehab funds to draw from, so that you can fix the property up if it needs to be fixed up. If it's in my city, I'll fix it up for you. Okay. If it's in St. Louis, I got some Israelite brothers down there that'll fix it up for you. If it's in New York, I got some Israelite brothers that'll fix it up for you right there. For the low. This is a nation building technique that can't be beat. So I don't know what we're gonna talk about today, because I was so eager to talk to Tonio Smith about his theory, and we're not technically savvy enough to get it together. So I'm gonna have to figure something out here in just a second. In the meantime, I want to introduce my co-host, Amaziah Howder. and I'm gonna step back for a second just to see if I can figure this thing out. Okay, Amaziah Howard has stepped away for a minute, having technical difficulties, and dropped out of the broadcast for 5 seconds. Probably rebooting his computer, and he'll be right back on in a minute. So I'm gonna have to figure out a topic. There may be some silence, or I may play some Israelite music while we're waiting, so that we can decide what we're going to discuss tonight. As I said, I certainly apologize. I was hoping to hear from Tonio Smith, and we are not technically savvy enough to know how to get him on the Hangout. This is his first time on a Hangout, and he's got an iPhone, so he doesn't know how to put it together. I just thought you just send him the link, and it just pops on up and shoots you right on in there. But if anybody has suggestions, if you could hit that chat box and let us know how to get him on here, that would work well.
My bad, my computer got unplugged.
Okay, no problem. All right, so you know how to get this guy on here, man?
Only thing I could imagine is sending him the link after he adds you on Google Plus.
That's what I'm saying. I can do the origins of the white man.
And you see that video with Amari Stoudemire?
Yeah.
Talking about he Israelite.
Absolutely.
And then I tried to actually tweet it to him to see if he would respond. But IUIC already got a hold of that brother.
What?
Yeah.
What you mean?
When I went to his Twitter page to try to tweet to him, you know what I mean? I tweeted him Hosea 1:11. I told him to get in touch, you know what I'm saying? And I looked at the first tweet was from what he retweeted from Nathaniel 7.
Nathaniel 7, what did he say?
He just had a picture of portraying Jacob fighting the angel. And then I went to Nathaniel 7's page, and he had on there a video with IUIC talking to Amari Stoudemire. Now, what I found that was interesting was all the lies. And you know, I'd like to talk to him, see what he thinks about it, because like I said, all I found was a bunch of lies. I'm about to look it up right quick. That the media is posting and writing about him. And I'll show you how this works, because he basically, you seen how he pulled the scripture, Deuteronomy 28, and he was talking about basically so-called African Americans or the Israelites. Well, this is what the media says. Says it should have raised a few eyebrows when Amari Stoudemire tweeted a couple days ago that he was headed to Israel to learn about it. Sure, Stoudemire is free to do whatever he wants on his own time, but Israel seems kind of random. Unless it wasn't so random after all. Apparently, Stoudemire just learned that his mom is Jewish. So you see how they try to lie. You see what I'm talking about? His mother's a
He
Negro,
got two black parents.
right? You see how they try to lie and do this, and so then it says according to an Army radio report, Stoudemire plans to spend time in Israel learning Hebrew, having recently learned he has a Jewish mother. It's worth noting that this is Amari's mom, and then if you click the link, it's supposed to take you to a picture of her, but you know what I mean? I guess they're like, oh yeah, this is what she looks like. She's black. You know what I'm saying? Just so y'all know. Um, but then it goes on to tell more lies, talking about according to the Jewish law, if your mother is Jewish, then you, by definition, are also Jewish. So what they're trying to do is anybody looking this stuff up, they're trying to take their attention away from the fact that the so-called African American Negro is the Hebrew Israelites, and
Exactly.
focus it back towards the lies of the so-called Jewish white man, the Khazars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, that's a good find. That's a good find. Oh man, that's crazy.
And then I found that on two different articles. That was on SB Nation, and if you go to Haaretz, which is the little Jewish world media, they said the same thing. Try to spread the same lie, talking about oh well, he found out his mother was Jewish.
Wow.
Like, get the hell out of here, man.
He
You
found
know
out
what I'm
his
saying?
mother was an Israelite, a Judite. That's what he found out. and his father too. And it goes by the pedigree of your father, who you are, what your nationality is.
But I don't think regular guys like us will even get a hold of him, man. Like I said, IUIC already got a hold of him anyway. But I wanted to address that and see what he had to say about that himself, about how the media is trying to portray um, him finding out his mother was Jewish when that's not even possible. And that man didn't say nothing about him finding out his mom was Jewish.
Now, what's this link with IUIC you keep referring to?
You talking about Daniel Seven's tweet?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna go to it. They got a video with IUIC talking to Amari Stoudemire. But his Twitter is Amari Israel. Hold on, let's see here. Screen share real quick. All right, you can see my screen.
Yeah.
All right, so right here, this is the tweet from Nathaniel 7. Of course, we go to Nathaniel 7's page, we see the common picture that I told you about, where they're always taking pictures, posing in pyramid formation.
Right. Yep.
Then right here, NBA star Amari Stoudemire receiving the word from IUIC.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So what I feel like he needs to know, well, for one, I'm wondering if the brother was ready to give up the white man's money, or if he was even thinking about that before he made that video, if he just got overzealous. Dude, when you come into anything, you got to go into it knowing the right people. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Whether it be the Hebrew Israelites or the NBA or the recording industry, you got to know the right people.
That's correct.
And Nathaniel 7 is the wrong dude to go to if you're just not coming into this truth.
Absolutely. See, Amari, I seen him sitting in a class, a Jewish class. So the Jewishers, he was taught Torah by the Jewishers and things of that nature. But I don't know if it was a good class or not. You know what I mean? If it was like a messianic class, because some of them Jewishers got a messianic class where they teach. You know what I'm saying? New and Old Testament.
Yeah, there's a guy on TV that's got a station. He's got his own show called Discovering the Jewish Jesus. He's a Messianic Jew.
Mhm. They're not terrible. They better they need to bow down and stop playing games. Like a Christian, right? They say, "I will never bow to you." This was I like to pick on Christians sometimes. Like I'll be trolling on the back of the Google Hangouts and trying to find me a little Christian show or something to troll on. Right, I get on the panel right fast, and they'd be like, oh, so you're a black Hebrew Israelite? I said, there's no such thing as a white Hebrew Israelite, sir. You know what I mean? I try to be as polite as I can, but they just be so racist. So
Yeah.
after 70,000 questions they asked me, I answered just as politely and with pure scripts. I'd be like, well, yeah, but the scriptures say this right here, and the scriptures say that right there. They'd be like, oh, well, the scripture, yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Every time I put a scripture up there, they agree. You know what I'm saying? So this one time, the guy was like, okay, he said, I forgot what he said. What did he say? He said, so he said, so, yeah, because they were getting real rambunctious in there, and I said, and I posted this scripture about how they're going to bow down and call us the city of Zion. You know what I mean? And the children of God, and we're the true children of God. And they were like, I will never bow to you. I only bow to Jesus Christ. So what do you think Jesus Christ is gonna make you do? Jesus Christ is gonna make you bow to his children. Or I mean his brothers, you know what I'm saying?
It says that in Revelation 3:9.
Absolutely. So man, but that's when I got banned and blocked. So I done been banned from every Christian site on earth. God too, every Christian site. You know what I mean? So they're not fun. They're not really fun to troll. Atheists ain't fun to troll either because they block you instantly. As soon as they find out that you believe the Bible and know that the Bible is true and know that God is real,
Who is that?
they don't even want to talk to you.
You
Atheists,
talking about?
white atheists,
Oh yeah.
they don't want to talk to you at all. They only want to talk to other atheists and laugh and crack fun at God and all that stuff all day long to each other. If anybody ever comes in there and says something true, they just instantly just boot you out.
I know there was such thing as a God too. You.
Say that again.
I know there was such thing as a God too.
Yep. Yep.
I might start posting some videos on here.
Yeah. Yeah. Get some good that should get some good promotion because that's all that's what the focus is spirituality. So and it's mostly kind of like a Christian site. So they tried to put a whole location for the Christians so that all the atheists can rule YouTube. And, you know what I'm saying? They report you so fast, it's crazy. That's just how Nate is. You know what I'm saying? And my homeboy talking about he want me to go with him to the Charlotte IUIC camp. I said, man, they're gonna kick me out so fast. Then I'm gonna have to stand outside in the rain while you in the class the whole time.
Yeah, they would too.
You know what I'm saying? His wife talking about, nah, they're not gonna kick you out. You just have to come with your scripts. If you come with your scripts, there's nothing they can say. Yeah, right. Because if I slap him with his scripts correctly, I mean, the first thing I'm gonna bring up, I'm gonna say, Joseph, do you think Joseph is the father? Of course, Joseph is the father. My master is Nate. Of course, Joseph is the father. I'm a Nate zombie.
But is Esau the white man?
Is Esau the white man? Of course. I'm a Nate zombie.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? So when I slap them with the scripts about Konaya being childless forever, how can and all that good stuff, and slap with everything else involved with it. There's no way in the world they're gonna allow me to stay in there. And I'm gonna do it just as politely and respectfully as possible, just like I did with with James last night. You see how James was being real rowdy and interruptive? He's always like that on everything. He's like that on the Ron show. He just likes to kind of over talk you and stuff like that. So just the same way I was polite with him. See, if I had my scripts in front of me, I would have been slapping him real hard but that's a brand new study for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I had already did the math on it with
Yeah, and we had talked about it before. Remember, I still got to make a response video to that cat because he was like, "Are you going back to Israel?" And that was the guy that made that video about it.
yeah.
And I got to make a. I still ain't got around to it yet.
Yeah, so I did a perfect video about Joseph, who the real Joseph is. Met him at the third. Okay. Now, I mean, the times line up, right? And I showed James that he easily got 487 years when you use his math, which is from death to death. But it's more logical that they had children at 120, 120, 120, 120. And I slapped them with that script that shows Jochebed. I slapped him with that this morning, about 7 o'clock this morning. And when I woke up, I remember where it was. So it was, Jochebed was 126 years old when she had Miriam, and then 3 years later she had Aaron, and then 3 years after that she had Moses. So 126, 129, 132, 132 years old when she had Moses. So Amram's not going to be 40 years old with that woman. You know what I'm saying? He had to be 120, 120, 123, 126, something around them ages. You know what I mean? Same for Koha. But I'm working on that lesson now. I'm gonna present that Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Hey, hold up right quick. I'm gonna be right back.
All right. You watching Claim Your Inheritance? This is the world holiest government. So we know what the Bible says to do. We try to do it to the best of our ability. I'm just letting Tonio Smith know that we're going to reschedule his show for Monday or Wednesday. Oops, yeah, because he only gets Wednesdays off work. So I'll find out which one works best for him. And that way you guys can remember to watch it. Because I didn't do any promotion for this show today, but I knew it would be great to have on record. You know what I mean? Have this theory on record, and then we can examine it in detail, piece by piece. You know what I mean? And then come up with, just build that way. Just keep building. It's important to create our own government. You know what I mean? Voting for it's illegal for Israelites to allow other nations, other bloodlines to rule over them. So voting for them, whether it be Hillary, Bernie, or Trump, is illegal for Israelites to do. So, the Kimite world, they could basically kind of like brainwash everybody in America and just say that they should vote. Like the Breakfast Club tells everybody to vote because they're still sleepwalkers and zombies. I mean, they have a job, so they're happy. They don't need to learn anything else. They don't need to know anything else. They don't need to know the truth. Even if they spoke the truth on air, they probably would get in trouble. You know what I mean? So they do have controversial guests on there, but of course they get permission for those things first. because ratings matter. So they know good and well certain controversial guests are going to bring ratings into the listening audience, and which sells advertisements. So radio is 100% based on the sale of advertising. So they're just talking just to fill space in order to sell advertising. So they don't really care anything about you at all whatsoever. They're just talking just to be talking. 100% waste of time. So, you know, that's the problem you got with these camps, like Nate and Johanna and Tazadakia and all these camps. They do the same thing. If you have a different point of view than them, which is actually, sometimes, okay, it's like I'm gonna speak for myself. There's a lot of doctrines that I know for a fact are a certain way and that are true. And then if you present it to these camps, they are not humble enough to accept that reality. And they just completely just weed you out and just say, we just want the exact same mentality amongst every member of our camp. We don't want any type of reality or any type of differing within our camp. You know what I mean? And wise people realize that, let's say we got a goal to do something simple. Let me see here. Let's say like a basketball game or a football game. Let's use basketball for example. You got a team of 5 different people on the floor at one time. Their goal is to pass the ball around legally until they get the ball inside of the hoop. That's their goal. Now these 5 people are from 5 different walks of life. They don't agree on nothing. They argue in the locker room every day. They argue at home. They don't, you know what I'm saying? They're not intelligent people. They're not wise people. So they don't know anything. So they argue about all kinds of things, about who's the fastest female athlete of all time, and they argue about anything. Get ready to go to blows over it. You see what I'm saying? So they know different things or think they know different things, and they have different ideologies about everything in the world. But their goal at that time is to pass the ball around legally and put the ball in the hoop. That's their goal. So when you have a clear goal set in front of you, which is setting up elections, you know what I mean? You don't have to know every single thing that this person over here knows. You don't have to agree with everything this person over here agrees with. All you have to do is agree to the goal. The goal is to set up elections. The goal is to put the ball in the hoop. Once you know this one particular goal and y'all agree to do this one particular goal, now you agree. Now you can walk together because the two of you agree. The people on the court agree. Let me put this. I got to put this ball in the goal, and I got to stop the other team from scoring. They all agree on that on those goals. So that's what we have in front of us is a goal to unify and set up elections and separate from this satanic kingdom that we're being ruled by. That's a clear set out goal that you don't have to agree with every single doctrine on earth in order to do this goal. The goal is simple. You back up?
Yeah, I'm back.
What you think about what I said?
I agree all the way. Like I was saying before, man. We're not gonna get the green light until this happens, and it's too much. Just like I was saying earlier with Amari Stoudemire, it's too many false camps that are in the way of us coming back together as a people. Too many doctrines going around, and instead of us fighting about doctrines, we need to just get together and worry about the doctrinal stuff later.
There you
But
go.
I feel like these leaders need to be rebuked and step down out of their position, and I feel like they shouldn't get any kind of position of authority. Honestly, they
Yeah,
need to restart as babes.
I feel the same thing. I feel the same thing. You know what I mean? Because they I mean, you can just YouTube any type of disgruntled Israelite about a camp, and you're gonna hear the real situation about it. You know what I mean? The people inside of the camps today are just scared to do anything other than what they're taught, and sometimes they're taught lies. See what I'm saying? So they feel like just because they found out they were Israelites that they uh, that God is speaking directly only to that camp leader, and you see what I'm saying? And he knows everything that God is telling them, and he's passing on verbally the word from directly from God's mouth. They're delusional.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Like shoot, trying to get back on my thought process. I was talking to Boss Sim just now, but yeah, like honestly, that's why I'd like to talk to some of them and just see, you know what I mean, if we get a hold of any one of the camp leaders and figure this out. But it's the same thing with ISUPK and the thing 7. Okay, they both are under 501c3s. All right, and there's Israelite camps that say like, you know, once you take a 501c3, it's done for, it's over. But what we really need to be asking these guys is, whose side are you really on? You know what I mean? When it comes down to it, who are you going to be protecting? Who are you going to be defending? And not only that, who are you going to be fighting against? Because if war breaks out, then you're going to have ISUPK protecting ISUPK, and you could have ISUPK trying to take out GMS.
That can happen.
And
I've
so
thought about that many times. I thought about that many times, and that's serious. You know what I'm saying? I know. Yeah, you're bringing that up.
Because they're going to be thinking, oh, we're the real Israelites.
Yeah.
You guys didn't ever want to get with us.
That's right. That's right.
We're going to take you out.
And they talk about that. They say that all the time. They say once we get this green light, we're gonna be taking out all these wicked Israelites everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna focus on them first. You retarded. What you need to do is read Jeremiah, where it talks about the Heavenly Father is not going to allow the spirit, Satan, to give a report about Israelites, the you know what I'm saying, in the future. Okay, and that what's the rest of that prophet says that they're gonna be looking for fault in the Israelites, and finding none, they will be forgiven. So you talking about these? I know that I understand they wicked, but they were taught to be wicked. They were taught to be wicked, and you're continuing to teach them to be wicked. So you know what I mean? You can be untaught. You can be you know what I'm saying, and you can be taught properly. I'm talking about. I'm speaking from my own experience. I used to be wicked, super duper wicked. I'm talking about for my whole, basically almost my whole life. So I changed completely. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I feel good about myself. I'm not a good man, you know what I'm saying? There's only one good, but the Heavenly Father. But I feel good about myself. I feel, you know what I'm saying, like I'm doing the right thing at all times. You know what I'm saying? And I stay focused on that joker. I meditate on that law all day and all night. Cause every decision that come my way, I make sure, am I doing this right? What am I supposed to do according to the Heavenly Father? How do I make this decision? What decision am I supposed to make? And then if I don't know, then I go look it up. Like one time I had this beef thing situation popping off. And I had to hit up Ciroc real fast to figure out how to handle it. And it says if your enemy asks you to go 1 mile, go with them 2 miles and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? If he asks you for $1, give him $2. You know what I'm saying? This will pour heaps of coal upon his head, and he will eventually become your friend. Man, you understand? That's a you understand how hard that is to accept when you used to, whenever you have a problem, you just go ahead and beat the person up, or you'll get them set up or something, or do something to the person, you know what I'm saying? Kill the person or whatever. That kind of mentality is very difficult to accept when you've been the devil your whole life. So I did in obedience what the Bible said to do. You know what I'm saying? And boy, did it work out lovely. Mm-mm-mm. I mean, I'm severely blessed. You know what I'm saying?
My bad, Con, yeah, I understand. It's just crazy though, man. That was a thought I didn't have till just about a couple of days ago, I'd say.
Absolutely.
I was thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, were you gonna try to get on that Q&A with GOCC?
How? You got the panel link or what?
He said he was gonna send a link to the panel in Q&A.
In the he doesn't have a chat next to his box, next to his video.
YouTube. Yeah, I think because they're in the Hangout right now, but he said he was gonna send a link to it or something.
The Q&A. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the back chat and see if he'll share the link with us, and then I guess we can just call this one a bust. But
I was gonna
you sure?
bring out another topic too. I was gonna ask you what was your take on my presentation of Esau being the father of Rome?
You went into Yasha, right?
No, I went in. I went into the writings of Flavius Josephus.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. He's a smart historian, you know what I'm saying? He used to be semi-trusted. Now, yeah, I mean, it's out of I'm talking about, you talking about how well and thoroughly it was presented to link them together, right?
Well, I'm saying, did you feel that you were grasping the concept of where I was coming from? Because I don't think that
it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard for me to see. It's kind of hard for me to see that because I already know that Edom is wrong. So you know what I mean. So when you were presenting it, I said, okay, yeah, he's presenting that part. That part is important, and this, that, and the third. So you know what I'm saying. So I felt good about it. You know what I mean. It was no slip ups or anything like that, and it was real kind of smooth. You know what I'm saying. So, since I already know it, I was biased. That's why I didn't even want to talk about it until, you know what I'm saying, we have like the aftermath and all that.
Yeah, I figured maybe I wasn't presenting it properly because it was like he just didn't address it. But of course, you warned me not to go into nothing with like aliens or nothing like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
the sons of God, you just left it right there.
And at the same time, those are issues that need to be addressed.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have something saying that these two boys were born from Mars, or the sons of Mars, you know what I
That's right.
mean?
That's
Who
right.
is who is Mars?
Exactly.
You feel what I'm saying? And then, of course, GOCC does a teaching on the planets are actually fallen angels. But from what my belief is, and from looking at history and understanding Greek mythology, you have the concepts of these gods or these deities being somebody that actually ruled on the earth at one point in time.
That's
Right.
exactly what happened.
So just like you have Samson in the biblical text, the Greeks took that and made Hercules.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So for them to say that Esau is, or that Romulus and Remus were born from Mars, but then they come directly from the line of Esau, that would be to say that Esau would have had a descendant that had another child with a fallen angel that became Mars.
I mean, that's very plausible because they take their time all the time in allowing. Okay, so listen, you noticed, you notice in the Bible and in the book of Adam and Eve and many other sources that Satan visits certain people in order to what? To offer them the world, basically. You know what I'm saying? Offer them the world and lose their soul. That's what basically happens. That's the offer. Now, this is a reality. This is what happens in real life, and that was recorded in a book for us to remember these things. So that's what happens with Esau and the rest of these nations. Certain people are um, are dedicated enough to serve Satan so well that he visits them and gives them information to increase in power. This is what really happens. So people need to know these things. You might want to call them an alien or something, or if you want to, but that's this is just something that really happens. You feel me?
Con.
Yeah.
And then like also what do you think about my breakdown of the parable of the wheat and the tares?
Okay. You said yeah, yeah. I like that one. You kept saying over the years they would sow the tares among the wheat, and you were linking them, the wheat and the tares, to the righteous and the unrighteous. But you were linking it way over time, which people need to understand. That's how it happens.
Con.
God planted the wheat here, which are the righteous, and then the tares were kind of weeded out of the righteous over and over and over and over again until you got down to Israel, and then even Israel was weeded out for a time period. So then, uh, through all those thousands of years, the enemy had been sowing tares, who are the unrighteous, into that same field, and they looked exactly the same. They looked like humans. You see, so Satan was planting his tares, his children, and amongst God's children, all those thousands of years. And
Hey, I got somebody who wants me to break it down right quick.
okay, let me say this one last thing.
Go ahead.
So now tares and wheat look exactly the same as they're growing until they mature. Mature is perfection, is ready for the harvest. When a wheat matures, the head of the stalk, that little prickly part, bows, it bends over, it bows down, and the tares stand up straight and tall when it matures. So
Con.
that, that's the last part I want to say on that. Hold on, let me introduce. We have a guest here, Miss Jacqueline. How are you this evening? Shalom. You gotta unmute your mic. Okay. So I guess she probably doesn't want to say anything.
I think she's just listening in.
Just listen. Okay. Go ahead and break it down for us. The wheat and the tares. Is that what you're doing, Hamazai? Breaking down the wheat and tares?
Yeah, I'm trying to get this info pulled up so I can screen share it.
Okay.
Let's see here. 24, and then we're gonna get Luke. Luke chapter 22. No, hold on.
I see you don't want to share your screen because when you put up that new screen, you know,
Okay.
the new tab.
Let's see. Okay. Now the sister wanted me to was interested in trying to figure out what we was talking about. So basically, the way I break it down is the Lord, when He created everything, when He created humanity, He created it perfect with certain specs on our DNA that would have been considered perfect. Let's see. I'm gonna go to Genesis chapter 6. As a matter of fact. Find out where all of this started from, and find out why the Most High flooded the earth. Let's see here. It's Genesis 6:1. And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. So those offspring, what we know as the Nephilim today, and they became mighty men, right? And they were also giants. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And why was this going on? It's because they were mixing in with these fallen angels. So let's go to Matthew chapter 13. Start at verse 24. And this is Mashiach speaking. It's Matthew 13:24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, The kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. Now, back to Genesis 6. Everything the Most High created was perfect. Right? So, say again?
That's what he said.
So, and basically Noah would have been the last one left with that perfect DNA from the Most High. Right? So, anything else, now we can all agree, and this is why I was saying to LeBron, because we know for a fact that the original emperors of Rome were black. They were dark-skinned people. They might not have been Israelites, but they were dark-skinned people, and that's what I was trying to bring out with them being from the direct line of Esau, right? And we also know that pretty much every culture all over the earth was a dark-skinned people. Wherever you go, whether it's ancient China to North America, all throughout Africa, all throughout Europe. So how could you possibly have anything else come into the mix when you look at Japheth, right? And Japheth's descendants went into northern Europe. Well, the explanation we normally get is that they had mutations from um, diet and climate. Okay? But at the same time, we've had Israelites living in Greece well over 1,000 years, and they're still the same skin color.
Exactly, and that's why I want to correct one thing. Uh, Diet may have an effect on your complexion. I'm not too sure about that, but matter of fact, I am sure about that. I'm positive that diet has an effect on your complexion because of this very reason. Let's take an extreme case. There are people who have historically in the past and recently here drunk mercury. They drink mercury every day. Okay, so they cause a disfiguration in their pigment of their skin, and their skin turns blue, bright blue. So this must hold true with what you consume. You see what I mean? So the food clearly has a impact on your complexion, but the climate absolutely does not. It only has a temporary effect from if you stay out in the sun too long, you get dark. If you never go in the sun your whole life, you're not going to lose your pigmentation in your skin. It's not going to happen. So that's what I'm trying to correct about that particular situation. The pigment of skin is 95% based on mating. So when we select, we see a light, a yellow bone, you know what I mean? Your kids is gonna be, a mixture between your complexion and her complexion. You see a gorgeous, uh, very very dark skinned woman, you know what I mean? And your brown skin, your children are gonna be a mixture. You know what I'm saying? A little bit darker than you, a little bit lighter than her. That's just how it is.
And see, I don't know, maybe Japheth's descendants was drinking a lot of colloidal silver or something, man.
There you go. Yeah, they really do drink gold and things of these nature because they don't have the wisdom of the Most High, so they think they just make up any kind of thing that they want to do and think that it's something special. Yeah.
So basically, the big question here, to the answer we're looking for is, if everybody on the earth was dark skinned, and like you said, whatever you mate with, the babies is gonna come out the same, and this is proven through science, because if you look up the definition of a law through science, a law has to come out with the same results after each test, right? So if everybody was dark skinned, where did these white folks come from? So go in Matthew 13:25. It says, "But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat, and went his way." So the enemy came and sowed these tares. All right. It says, "But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence then hath it tares? He said unto them, An enemy hath done this. The servant said unto him, Wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, Gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn." And we're going to look at Matthew 24 right quick, because Hamashiach tells us that this is going to take place. It says, Matthew 24:37, "But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be." And what was going on in Noah's time? Well, we got that in Genesis chapter 6. The sons of God were mating with the daughters of men. So how crazy is that it would be happening today? You got white people all over YouTube talking about the aliens and these hybrid experiments Well, those are just demons, man, and still performing the same wickedness they were performing back then. You got the so-called hybrid alien race called the Nordics, which look like white people with blonde hair and blue eyes.
Yeah, they have oversized eyes, and they're generally taller than uh, very tall people.
Just like I was explaining to you about the Sea Peoples back in the 13th century BC that
Uh-huh.
were trying to take over, and the only kingdom they couldn't really take over was ancient Kemet.
Thank you. And
But
I
they
want to interject a theory. A theory. Hold that thought right there. Don't forget what I'm saying. I want to interject a theory based on the breakdown you just gave about the barn and putting the wheat inside the barn and allowing the tares to burn. So we see the internment camps, the re-education camps, the FEMA camps that are thousands of them have been built under secrecy, and they will be used. They will be utilized, just like the internment camps for the Japanese, just like the internment camps for the Jewishers, just like the internment camps for the Native Americans hundreds of years ago. These FEMA camps are going to be filled up, and they're going to be filled up with black people, and they know why they're doing it. They're putting the wheat in the barn for I don't know how long or whatever until this civil war blows over and the rest of the war or whatever blows over, and then so that we can be placed back in our land. But everybody's going to be sorely afraid when this happens. They're going to be incredibly afraid, and they're going to resist heavily, and they're going to be shooting, and they're going to kill people they do not like. Anybody that ever said anything to them in a negative way, when this all hell breaks loose, they're just going to go down the street to their neighbor. Remember when you said bow? It's going to be for the wild, wild west times 50. So that's just a theory. So I just wanted to interject that.
that's pretty good though. But yeah, I mean, shoot, I got my own little list. You know what I'm saying? I got my own little
Oh,
personal list.
you got a bucket list.
I got all kind of lit.
So that's right.
You know, now I must say this ain't something I plan on carrying out myself, but may the Most High curse the crackers on my list. Because I told you, man, it's a constant struggle in the South out here. You know.
Yeah. It's hard to be humble around pure racism when you know that you're in slavery, and there's not much you can do about it because all they have to do is call 911. I had the same problem with coon brothers and stuff. You know what I mean? Because the neighborhood I'm in is like very mixed. So they like when everybody found out I was racist, they like basically started hating me. You know what I mean? So it was like, man, they just love white people so much that it's crazy. But
And let me stop you right there, because as we have to clarify that the black man cannot be racist.
yeah,
We don't have the money and funds to back up any type of institutions,
that's
corporations to back our racism.
that's right. In the position that we're in now, in the position of having 1% of the wealth of America, and the dominant force having 99% of the wealth. That's what the wisdom of the Bible teaches us to do, to get into the dominant position. And the dominant position is based on resources. So us being in 1% wealth bracket and income bracket causes us to not be in the position to affect change enough to be racist. So whenever we get into that dominant position, then we have to check ourselves and make sure that we're not racist.
Con.
Okay, so was I still talking about something? Yeah, the Coon brothers. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? They love white people so much around here, right? And they buck up against me. So I'm like, man, how do I deal with this Heavenly Father? Okay, so man, first of all, you got to be your your knowledge has to remain concealed to a lot of it extent, a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? You
God.
can't share your knowledge with everybody because they don't know 1% of what we know. So we were trained and learned these things.
And not only that, you gotta give them the milk first too.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you just have to kind of stay very humble and just not share that meat because they can't digest it.
And honestly, sometimes I wonder if I'd even have time to. If these people weren't so hard headed, if we'd even have time to sit and train them on that level. Now, the time we're getting to now, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. They'll learn in the FEMA camps. I guarantee you that. Every Israelite that gonna woke up good enough is gonna be in there.
It's too late to be trying to look up Illuminati videos and all that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what actually that goes back to what the Ak was asking me the other day when we was on the line with him, and I don't know, I know you couldn't hear him, but he was basically asking he's like, man, what if they try to take all our Bibles away? And I explained to him, well, we got brothers that's been in this truth uh 10, 20, 30, 40 years.
Uh-huh.
That's all going to be in there as well. So, you know, we know the word. That's not a problem.
Yep, yep. And see, they think the Bible is a good enough weapon to kind of like keep us docile. So they are going to allow the Bibles to be in those camps. I guarantee you that. It's just like in prison. You know what I mean?
Con. Yeah, the prison does do a good job of that.
Mm-hmm. You can basically ask for any type of spiritual book that you request, but you're just going to be re-educated to be docile and you know what I mean and all that stuff.
They're talking about they're gonna be retraining people for the New World Order though, so I don't know if that'll take effect or what because they're trying to sorry about that, but they're trying to make a one world religion, so you never know they might try to take it away. These queers and these transgenders have been trying to talk about how the Bible needs changes, and then you got some kind of I forget
That girl that wrote
some
one of those books, one of those book series, she's rewriting about. I think the girl that wrote Harry Potter.
what did you say?
The girl that wrote Harry Potter.
Oh, J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, she's right. She's rewriting the Bible.
She's rewriting the Bible.
Yeah, so that's probably what their issue was. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
that's kind of funny though because when I try to explain things to non-believers um like non-messianics, when I try to talk to people about like this is why it doesn't make sense for non-messianics to be non-messianics, I always use Harry Potter as a reference, basically explaining if you had a book written before Harry Potter talking about all the things Harry Potter was gonna do, and then he showed up and did it. What sense would it make to say that somebody else was the chosen? You know what I mean? So here
Exactly.
you got the Old Testament with every single book referencing Hamashiach in the Old Testament. All the prophets wrote about him.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got
They
guys
just
that come
they
along.
really just don't believe. You know what I'm saying? They're like Muslims. You know what I'm saying? They don't believe the Heavenly Father interacts with His creation.
Huh,
You know what I'm saying? So what a Muslim believes is that when you pray, do your salats 5 times a day and all that stuff, you don't know if you're saved or you know what I'm saying until you die. And then once you die, then you find out from the judgment that you have been a good servant your whole life.
huh.
So um, the difference between that and the Bible is that you can be confident in your walk and know that you will be saved from your enemies based on what you're doing right now. You know this is about to happen for you because the instructions are so clear of what you should do, and if you stick to the script, then you automatically delivered from the father's wrath
Okay.
in this lifetime and rewarded in this lifetime. So that's a clear distinction that a lot of Muslims, ex-Muslims, talk about and they appreciate about the Bible. But they of course they say Christianity or whatever, but they're really talking about the Bible. You got any other topics?
That's about it for today, man.
All right, I think we saved the day replacing Tonio Smith's lesson on the United States currency. He has a theory talking about the United States currency could be backed up by linen or cotton, and he's found evidence to support his theory. So he's going to go in on that either Monday or Wednesday. I think he has Wednesdays off work, so I think we'll have to reschedule for next Wednesday. Saturday at 2 p.m. Messiah Yahweh has a Bible study on his channel, and so I'm gonna be right there in that class. Um, on Saturday night, I'm going to be presenting how long Israel was in Egypt. Was it 215 years or was it 430 years? You be the judge.
We didn't even get into that yet. Thought we might get into that a little bit.
I want to go over there. I want to go over there and
Oh yeah.
troll
Bar,
GOCC.
yeah, I think they got Ricard talking now.
hmm And tomorrow night is the weekly meeting where we bring up our agendas. We vote on our agendas, get them passed or rejected. The ones that get passed, we promote. The ones that get rejected, we abandon or bring up in a future meeting. And so we need many people like journalists. We need a journalist. We need, to do like a weekly weekly newsletter. We need an artist to design our national flag and our national currency. We need a secretary to take the minutes and the notes for the meetings, for the weekly meeting. We need a treasurer to uh, righteously allocate the tithes that anybody decides to pay. Um, we need everything. We just need everything, every position in a natural government. So get up with us, and we'll find tell us your talents and what you want to do. If you want to do some training, you want to train people based on your talent in business. You know what I mean? You might know how to design clothes or something. You want to train people how to design clothes. Let us know, and we'll get you involved. On Friday, I forget what's happening on Friday, but on Sunday we got Tazadak Shah Bey. Tazadak Shah Bey, he's a commando, ex-Marine. He's in the commando camp, and he's going to be the military trainer for our physical training. And he's going to be on here Sunday talking about all that sovereignty talk that he does, and he successfully lives that way all the time. So he basically feels he's autonomous from the system already, and he's going to be sharing some of that information on Sunday. So that's basically all the announcements right now. You got any other announcements?
Now that's about it. We're just gonna be having a study over the truth and what is truth on Saturday, again at 2 p.m. I'm gonna go through Psalms 119 a little bit.
Okay. And the name of your channel is Amaziah Yahweh.
KOJ.
KOJ. Okay.
Con.
So you guys check that out Saturday at 2 p.m. And every day at 8:30, we're sitting right here. We try to start on time every day. Thank you for listening. You're watching Claim Your Inheritance, the world's holiest government. I'm your host, Nazir Divine Emioloz Yasharal, the Crown Prince of Israel, the keyboard warrior. I'm the President Pro Tem of New Jerusalem until the real president stands up and wins the election. I'm joined by my co-host, Amaziah Yahweh, the Vice President Pro Tem of New Jerusalem until the real Vice President wins the election. I want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father, the wonderful Son, and the Holy Spirit, and hand it over to Amaziah to close out.
Yeah, I want to say all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Barakatah, Toda, Rabbah, and blessings to the family.
Yasha Allah, Godspeed. Shalom.